Chapter 3. Goodnight, Tommy. He found Mafalda in Uncle Tommy's secret room, searching through a manila folder. You know what happened with my father, just like you knew about this room, both of which you never bothered to tell me. She places the folder atop the filing cabinet. I only learned about this place when you were in Dracovia. By then, your uncle was already starting to go a little, let's call it, stir crazy. He buried himself in work. You were here, and I wasn't when he needed me. If I knew... How could you? Tommy was never the type to ask for help. Then I should have paid better attention, picked up on the signs, if I had any idea what he was going through. Your voice trails, emotions bubbling to the forefront. I promise I would have never left him behind. Rose, assigning blame isn't going to bring him back. By the time I realized what your uncle was doing, the obsession was root deep. You nod with a sigh. When a detective starts following a scent. There's nothing anyone could have done to stop him. You may be too young to remember, but your father was the same way. Is that what got him in trouble? Mafalda checks the time on her watch. Why don't I tell you on the way downtown? We're already behind schedule. He puts an arm around you and leads you out of the office. Now playing as Mafalda. It's middle of the night. Jimmy fiddles with the lock at the back entrance of the Albany police station. You just had your first undercover mission. A successful one at that. Shouldn't we be out celebrating? We are celebrating. Breaking and entering is not how people usually celebrate. Jimmy gives Tommy a pat on the back. This is a special case. My brother-in-law and I helped break the case wide open. Tell that to the captain. I connected the Blackowitz case to the Scarlotti weeks ago, but he kept pushing to drop it. The lock clicks. Jimmy grins from ear to ear to success. And that's exactly why we're here, to leave Captain a little message. You slowly make your way down the hallway, all three of you checking the surroundings to ensure the coast is clear. Should I be worried about what you mean by a little message? Not in the slightest. Great. I'm just glad Miss Blackowitz is okay. She had to grieve the deaths of her husband and 2 children and gets pinned for the murders. Nobody should have to go through that. See? Even you agree it's about time the Captain Grouch gets down a peg or 2. Great job, Rose. You did the right thing. This job isn't just about catching the bad guys. Sometimes it means righting the wrongs. Now she gets it. Can we, just get a move on? The quicker we get out of here, the better. Yes, sir. Jimmy rounds the corner to Captain's office while you and Tommy keep eyes on the hole in either direction. Clear on my end. Same here. Thanks for having my back, guys. We make a great team. Don't mention it. And I mean that. We're never mentioning this little revenge mission ever again. Jimmy lets out a low chuckle before popping the door wide open. We're in too deep to give up now. Tommy follows him in while you shift uncomfortably and watch the door. You'll make a lot of cadets very happy, and I wouldn't mind seeing the captain humbled myself. I knew you'd jump on board. Being one of the only women on staff, let's just say Captain has overlooked me more than once. Oh, we've noticed. You're one of the most talented officers on the squad. Jimmy pulls out a fan of spray paint from his pocket. Let's just give him a piece of our mind, shall we? He sprays the words, "I told you so," on the wall behind the captain's imposing desk. That's for Tommy, you arrogant prick. He then passes the can over to you with a wink. I care to add a little note of your own. Be a part of history. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You hold the can of paint and give it some thought. Oh, don't give me this option. Don't give me this power. What the hell? Point, or paint, an exclamation point, a grumpy face. Grumpy face. Your finger presses down on the nozzle and you add a grumpy-looking face at the end of the message. There. That'll let him know we're upset. I would have done more. If you would have let me actually type a message. Jimmy puts an arm around Tommy and the two men laugh. We may need to give this poor newbie a lesson in vandalism. Let's get out of here before she turns this graffiti into a mural. I for one see no problem with my addition. Captain will get the message loud and clear. Now playing as Chloe. You arrive at the downtown loft you booked for Uncle Tommy's memorial. You arrange a bouquet of flowers while Mafalda's story comes to an end. I don't know if your dad ever told you, but he got suspended for 2 weeks for that little stunt. He was oddly proud to share that part. You eye the bouquet. If they were both still here, maybe the flowers would spray guests with water. Of course it was. That's because, to him, it wasn't just a little stunt. My dad must have really hated the captain. He'd never admitted it, but my dad held a grudge better than anyone I know. Oh, there's definitely wasn't any love lost between the two. But that's not exactly what I'm getting at. Then what are you getting at? Your dad had a needling suspicion that Captain was in someone's pocket. He set the vase of fresh flowers on the center of the table, and then eyed Mafalda, the pieces beginning to fall into place. If he could get himself suspended, he'd have plenty of free time to conduct his own investigation on who was influencing the captain. That's as clever as it is reckless. I hope it worked. If his goal was to incite a vendetta with the Scarlotti organization, it did. So, they got too close to... or something. Everyone in the force dismissed Tommy's observations about the Blackowitz case as just more crazy, laser-focused hunches. But your father knew never to discount his partner. That's the part I'm trying to make sense of. Wasn't my dad the one who knew Blackwitz's woman was innocent? That's how I always heard the story, at least. Who knew? My uncle. Mafalda shakes her head. Tommy may have given your dad the credit, but it was all him. You know, I'm Mafalda, puzzled. Okay, now I have 20 more questions. Why am I not surprised? Well, you said it yourself when a detective starts following a scent. Mafalda sighs, rubbing her temples. I know, but honestly some of those memories are foggy. I'm barely remembering the details that made Tommy suspect the captain in the first place. I know it was a long time ago, but any small detail may lead to what happened to my uncle. If I could sit down a couple minutes, maybe with a cup of joe, I could clear my head. Then you could help me parse through the details if you've got time to spare. Listen, young Mafalda looking kinda cute. Would date. You refill the cup of coffee you've made for Mafalda and push a small plate of butter cookies in front of her. Did a fresh one do the trick? Mafalda takes another sip, setting her mind back to the period in question. It has. I'm remembering the full pictures of events. Let me take you back to the night your uncle first suspected something fishy about the Blackowitz case. Now playing as Mafalda. It's late at night, you and Jimmy are in the office in the middle of a 3-night stakeout running on nothing but adrenaline and crap coffee. Would it kill us to invest in a new coffee maker? This tastes like mud. You tap your stale, glazed donut against your desk. What? Don't like the mud coffee and the brick donut special? The two of you laugh when Tommy comes in with the bullpen and slams a file on his desk. Uh-oh, sounds like Tommy here got a taste of mud. The captain just ordered me to close the Blackowitz case.
That's a good thing, right? Case closed. On to the next one?
No, she's innocent. The whole damn system is failing this woman.
How do you know? She didn't kill them. Statistics show that victims are more likely to be killed by a family member, someone they knew.
Not to mention the evidence is piled a mile high against her. It's all circumstantial.
What kind of evidence have you found that points to her innocence?
I don't have any concrete evidence, but something doesn't add up.
Not to put your instincts into question here.
Why do I feel a butt coming?
It's just that what your gut says and what's possible within our justice system, they don't always align.
And that's something I should accept?
Jimmy gives Tommy a pat on the shoulder.
Don't get off the course here. Your anger isn't about Mafalda.
Tommy sighs, shaking his head.
No, it's not. It's that stupid captain that makes me want to put my fist through a wall.
Now, the captain may discount your intuition, but that doesn't mean we are. Even if we don't share the same gut feeling, you're rarely wrong about these things. That's what makes you such a great asset to the Force. Jimmy catches your eye, wordlessly encouraging you to trust him. Tommy, maybe talking about it will help you understand whatever's been giving you doubt. Tommy flips through the file and holds up a photo of Miss Blackowitz.
I look at her. She's 110 pounds soaking wet. She doesn't fit the profile of a killer, let alone one who could kill her own kids.
You have a point.
Her conviction was expedited for a reason, so there's no time for the cracks in the investigation to reveal themselves.
What about the judge? Anyone we're familiar with?
Tommy nods. Judge Reynolds.
Jimmy snores.
So not a corrupt judge, just a completely incompetent one.
You sit quietly, carefully analyzing the new piece of intel. It's starting to hit you, isn't it, Mafalda? I'll admit there's something not quite right about it, but I think of all the other cases.
There's no point.
His harsh words are rare enough to startle you into silence.
I brought my concerns to the captain. He told me in no uncertain terms to let this one go.
You think he knows something we don't?
Why else is he so gung-ho to close this case for good?
But you don't have any proof.
Not yet.
Suddenly you watch Jimmy break into a mischievous grin. I've seen that look before, Rose. We've got your back, brother. We're not resting until we figure out what the captain is hiding. Now playing as Cameron. As Mafalda takes the final sip of her coffee, you chew on the latest bit of information. Was the case ever officially connected to the Scarlotti crime family? Mafalda shakes her head. Nothing was ever proven, but it's safe to assume they were behind the family's death and the reason why the DA quickly scapegoated the wife. In his final months, Tommy's killer intuition must have honed in on something new. Something that made him public number one, Big V and her goons. Your mind hums, wondering what Tommy could have found. The scent of a lead, your dad, your uncle's lead, makes you feel closer to them than you have in days. I should get back to everyone. Thanks for this. It's nice to feel connected to my dad and uncle, especially today. With renewed energy from Mafalda's story, you peruse the venue for final touches. What could my dad have discovered while investigating the police captain? Whatever it is, Uncle Tommy must have found it. The thought eats at you as you straighten a row of seats. Tristan comes to your side, your hands meeting when you reach for the same chair. Here to help a partner? I know that look in your eyes. You're itching for a case. You spend too much time looking at my eyes. I can't be blamed for that. Most women never complain about that, let's be honest. I just wonder what's going on behind those eyes. You're not overthinking, are you? I'm focused on the memorial service. Promise. You quickly turn away and walk over to Ruby. How's the garden out on the balcony coming? Ruby holds up a tangled string of fairy lights. It's gonna be magical. Yeah, just as soon as I get these lights figured out. You continue to the entrance, Tristan in tow, and rearrange several framed photographs of your uncle. Your hand lingers on one in particular. That's a great photo of you two. Uncle Tommy's last 4th of July barbecue. Those parties were something else. You run a finger over the casing, remembering the sizzling of the grill and Uncle Tommy's boisterous laugh. And then you're holding the letter again. Enjoy your wedding gift, Detective. Best of luck to you both. You push the memory from your mind. I want to remember Tommy as he was. As he was to me, and as he was to everyone who came to contact with him. You're not saying that because you're trying to hold on to an idea of who you thought him to be, are you? I'm not. These new discoveries may be jarring, but it doesn't change the great man he was. Good. He'd be proud to see the close group of friends you've brought together to remember him. It's not much of a memorial without people to do the remembering. Everything looks beautiful here, and there is one thing missing, however. What do you mean? I thought everything... the decor, flowers, photos? He reaches for your hand, giving it a calming rub. Those are all excellent, but I was thinking you could gather some of Tommy's favorite things before your party. You know, to make it extra special. I seem to remember there was a certain deli he ate lunch at every day, like a clockwork. Don't forget the French bakery he loved, with those buttery, flaky croissants. I love croissants. Exactly what I was thinking. Except I never had any bakery fresh. Grocery stores, yay. Tristan, this is why I love you. You're a genius. I'll always seal that compliment with a kiss. He cups your face in his hand and pulls you in close, meeting your smile with his warm lips. As your eyes catch his, your detective brain begins to churn. A snack run could be the perfect opportunity to retrace the steps of Uncle Tommy's final days. He would have gone to each and every one of his usual spots. I could get a window into his thinking. Tristan waves a hand in front of you. What's the holdup? I'm already getting a whiff of those freshly baked baguettes. Yes, Tristan, we'll get you your freshly baked baguettes. You start by making a stop at the deli down the street. Do you know your uncle's usual? How could I ever forget? He ordered the exact same sandwich every afternoon. Smoked turkey, black forest ham on white bread with lettuce, tomato, Swiss mayo, olive oil, salt, pepper, and... extra onions. Oh, your poor stomach. You turn to find the deli owner, Willie, behind the counter. You must be Chloe. It's been a few years, but I never forget a face. My condolences. We're having Tommy's memorial tonight. We thought we'd serve some of his favorites. He was my most loyal customer. It's the least I could do. Willie promptly gets to work assembling the subs as he cuts up the onions. Tears leak down his face. I know how it is. I really miss him too. It still doesn't feel real sometimes. He wipes tears from his face and slaps on a smile. See what that Tommy puts through every afternoon, insisting on those fresh sliced onions. He's lucky. He was a good tipper. You laugh sweetly, knowing there's more behind the deli owner's words. Do you happen to remember the last time my uncle was here? He nods. Day before your wedding. He was as proud as I'd ever seen him, bragging about walking you down the aisle. You feel a sting in the corner of your eye as he hands you the packaged sandwiches.
Although there was something a bit different that day.
Different how?
Well, he said he had a craving for Italian. My jaw was on the floor. The man had never ordered anything other than his usual for decades.
The intel awakens your detective instincts, and you politely nod. Italian mafia, get it? We'll, take one of those for good measure. Tristan pulls you aside.
Italian? Aren't they Scarlotti's?
It could mean something. Like a clue for me to find. First, I learned he was secretly working on my dad's case. Now he just so happens to switch up his lunch order the day before our wedding.
What could he be trying to tell you?
You sigh. I wish I knew. We reach our next stop, a French bakery. Tristan tips his nose in the air.
The smell is heavenly.
Uncle Tommy knew how to pick 'em, that's for sure. A young French woman, Eloise, works behind the counter. Oh, can I help you, lovely couple? Hi, I'm Chloe Rose. I believe you know my uncle, Tommy Green. Oh, yes, Mr. Chocolate Croissant. It's been a few days. How is he doing? You turn to Tristan, stung. She doesn't know.
Should we tell her?
Break the news, gentlemen. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but my uncle passed away last week. Oh, no, not Tommy. Oh, dear. I'm so sorry.
We're having his memorial today. We want to serve some croissants from his favorite bakery.
I'll put together the perfect assortment. She boxes a pile of her best-selling croissants. He loved these so much. Yes. At one point, I actually suspected your uncle was trying to crack my secret recipe. And what makes you say that? He was always coming in here with one of those decoder thingamajiggies, so deep in concentration. You mean a cipher?
She shrugs.
Is that what those things are called? Interesting. So he was working to decode something.
For your final stop, you visit the warehouse of the liquor supplier for the bar. The manager, Aiden, greets you with a hug. Hey, Chloe, I'm in, thinking about you. How are you holding up?
One day at a time.
Tommy was one of our best clients. He always brightened the bar. He'll be missed. We were hoping we could get a few bottles to serve at his memorial tonight. Of course, I always kept a few extra cases of his favorite whiskey, just in case.
Tears well up in Aiden's eyes.
For Tommy, I'll personally deliver, if that's okay. Then I come pay my respects.
We'd love to have you.
Thank you. I'll bring my finest vintage. Tommy deserves nothing less.
If you don't mind, I know my uncle and you spent many nights chatting while testing whiskey batches. Did my uncle ever open up to you? Maybe about his personal life or his work? Aiden takes a beat to think about it.
We mainly talked about business in the bar.
Sounds like Tommy.
The only time I saw him upset was when your father died.
They were very close.
The best of friends, from what I could tell.
Aiden furrows his brow in thought.
Actually, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but something was off about him like 2 weeks ago.
What do you mean by off?
A bit aloof, I guess I'd call it, but he didn't say what it was about.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for the tip, Aiden. See you at the memorial service. You and Tristan take your leave.
You sneaky little partner. You almost had me fooled. The detour of ours had nothing to do with the gathering refreshments. You're in investigator mode.
Oh, it took you 3 stops to figure that one out? Oh, man. Never become a detective there, Tristan. You shrugged, denying everything. Well, at least we both got what we wanted. I'll accept the trade-off this time. Uncle Tommy's celebration of life has begun. Every detail in the place, at the swanky downtown venue you've rented, guests mingle and exchange stories about Tommy. This place is packed. Your uncle touched a lot of lives. He did. Could any of them known something? You trying to quiet the gears turning in your mind. I made it an open invite. Anyone who knew him is welcome. Oh no. Why do I feel like that's gonna be really bad? I hope that includes us. You're gonna see Tommy's ex, Sophie, and her son, Maddie. It's been a while, Chloe. You instantly break them in for an embrace. Thank you so much for coming. We wouldn't be any place else. Your uncle meant a lot to both of us. You meant a lot to him, too. Sophia nods, the notion bringing tears to her eyes. We may not have been able to make things work, but I just feel horrible. I couldn't stop him from going down this path. Maddie takes his mom's hand and gives it a reassuring squeeze. I'll always remember Tommy for helping to set me on the right path. Maddie found the right path when you arrested Nico. As much as you don't want it to, the memory floods back.
This isn't over, Rose. You messed with the wrong people today. You'll see, it's gonna bite you in the ass, just like your old man. Ask the Scarlottis about it. Big V's been laughing her ass off about how they stuck that pig for years.
Grief yanks at your heart, and anger you've been holding back surges out. You damn Scarlotti. You feel a hand on your shoulder, and suddenly you're back in the ballroom, Tristan standing by your side. Chloe. You force the anguish down and face Maddie and Sophia with a sympathetic grin. I know. He was happy to have you both in his life. He may not have said it often, but you were like family to him. I think we had a pretty good idea, didn't we, Mom? Sophia wipes a tear and gives her son a kiss on the forehead. We sure did, sweetheart. Sophia excuses herself and Maddie, and as they leave, the emotional dam you've built breaks, grief flooding into you. You okay? Yeah. I just need some fresh air. You brush Tristan's hand off your shoulder and walk away. You stagger up the stairs to the privacy of the venue's balcony, your head spinning, trying to connect what few clues you have. Damn it! You slam your fist in the railing and pain radiates up your hand. Damn it. You look over the city. Cold, distant, only the cool night's breeze keeps you company. Nice weather to shout into, don't you think? Tristan, I should have followed the signs sooner. We were busy with the Dormer case, Dracovia. Those were wastes of time. I don't need you here. I know, but I'm trying harder to support you this time. See, I brought tea. Offers you a cup and you eye it warily. It won't bite you, it's just to calm your thoughts. I don't know, man, you could have put a trank dart in it. You sip the warm tea and let out a relaxed breath. I thought I could make it through the memorial, but seeing Tommy's friends, I can't stop my mind from thinking. I understand it's overwhelming right now. He rests his palm on your still aching hand. Just know that you're not alone in this. I'm here for you. Whenever you need me, whatever you need for, if you'll have me. You look out over the city, cold, distant, except this time you feel less alone. You lean against him, feeling the grounded presence of his body. Thank you. Anything for you. Tristan squeezes her hand. The Scarlottis will get what's coming to them. Until then, let's finish giving Tommy the send-off he deserves. You return to the party feeling more at ease when you see Captain Thompson walk through the front door. Captain? In a rare moment of vulnerability, she flashes a soft expression of compassion. Your uncle didn't deserve this. Captain. I don't know if this is the same I doubt it's the same captain because it was back then. So, yeah, I really appreciate you coming. My uncle would appreciate it too. I would hope so. Tommy was a colleague of mine for a good 15 years before he quit the force. I owe it to him to pay my proper respects. Captain Thompson excuses herself and pours herself a glass of lemonade.
Sounds like that woman could use a little something extra in her lemonade.
He holds up a case of liquor bottles. Aiden, you made it.
A promise is a promise. Where can I set up?
I'll walk you over to the refreshments table.
Nonsense. Stay with your guests. I can manage setting up a few bottles of your uncle's favorite whiskey.
You point to the table and see Willie plating a sub for Eloise while she picks out the perfect croissant for him to taste. You wave to get their attention. Willie gives you a wink and Eloise flashes a warm smile.
For Tommy.
Tommy, Mr. Chocolate Croissant.
Oh, Uncle Tommy. Even now, you have a way of bringing people together. You go take a seat next to Tristan.
How are you holding up now?
The only thing I can think of now is how everyone in this room loved Uncle. So good. He gives you a peck on the cheek and wraps his arm around you. A send-off like this often just is as important for the loved ones as it is for the one they lost. You let out a steady breath, your heavy heart feeling relief for the first time all week. Then there's a sudden deafening bang at the door, and you quickly stand. This is the oh no part, I feel. I just feel like someone's from one of the mob families is gonna show up, and yeah. What the hell is... The guests go silent. You approach the door, Tristan at your back, and opening it, lying on the ground, you find... Ready for a little chat, I'll be waiting. Casino Nostra. From Big V. What do you say the two of us have ourselves a little chat? I'll be waiting. Oh, if the Scarlottos want my attention, they've got it. Tristan snatches the note from your hand and reads it. His face falls. I know exactly what you're thinking.
No, this is dangerous.
This is the lead I need. I'll make sure they regret giving it to me. Tristan, you and I are going undercover at the casino, just like my dad did. Could we at least have 5 minutes to mourn the dude? Seriously, can we just have 5 minutes? Anyway, before we get into what my thoughts and whatnot, please remember that if you did enjoy the content, to like, share, and subscribe. It should be glowing if it worked properly, but if not, let me know. Otherwise, yeah. So, first and foremost, I don't know anything about this case. Remember, they never really gave us any backstory, right? So if you guys ever watch Castle, this is basically what this feels like. It feels like a combination between Castle and Lucifer, right? And that's what this whole entire book series feels like. And, you know, Chloe, you know, knowing about her dad being killed, kind of like, you know, the Castle, I'm trying to remember, Decker, right? Or whatnot. And then, you know, I'm sure I'm screwing up names. Anyway, it's long, it's story short, it's you know the two TV shows I'm talking about. They're interwoven, they're together, they've kind of merged this in this book, and I get it now. I never watched Castle, surprising enough, before this book came out. So now that I'm watching this and I'm thinking back on it, the story of, you know, Castle / Lucifer being together, really, it actually works when you fuse them together, and then you look at this story, and it's like, oh, that's what they did with this. So for me, little personal note here. So for me, I kind of feel closer to Tommy. Especially now that we're getting to know him more, and him being obsessed with the case, but then also in a way his police work and whatnot, but mainly the case. And for me, I'm kind of the same in this channel, right? I really worry that the audio quality is good for you guys, or I worry about the video quality is good for you guys, or I worry about, do I put out too much content? Do I not put out enough? Do I do this? Do I do that? And then also, I hope to leave some impact behind when I'm gone. Because, you don't really know. And a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, come on. And, I hear this all the time. Oh, well, you got a long life ahead of you, and people don't know, right? And then the thing is while I also not mourn myself, but think, okay, this might happen, right? A lot of things might happen. I might go to bed and I'd have a brain aneurysm or a pulmonary embolism, or again, there's a million things, but not just me, but I think about each and every one of you. Again, this is what an overthinker does. And each and every one of you that I've ever talked to or chatted, or you stopped and sent a message or whatnot, and then also the people that I've met, the great friends that I've known at one time that are no longer among us because life happens. Life happens, and for whatever reason, that they left this planet, and for some of them that I've known, is a varying decorum of reasons, but, like, you don't know. You don't know. You really don't know. Life is so fickle. It's so finite. It's so tiny. You're like a star out in the dark, night sky, and do you really notice when a star goes out? Do you? Especially when you never really stargaze? No, you don't. And so that's how I look at each and every one of us, is I do notice when people don't comment anymore, or I do notice when, each and every one of you, like, when you do comment. And to me, I am one who stargazes every night, and I just, go out there and I look up at the stars and how beautiful it feels, and, maybe the cool night air, maybe, if it's summer or whatever, but you get my idea, you get my point. And, I don't know. For me, I hope I'm leaving behind a good legacy. People that will cherish the good memories, the good stories. And hey, especially for each and every one of you that have met through this community and this channel, you'll forever have my videos, right? So at least you'll have some part of me. For me, I will only ever really, remember you by the comments you've left. And that's one of the reasons why I wish I got to know my community a lot better. And, like for me, I try and turn this into a family, really. Because we don't have to be blood related to be family. So, anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.